In other news, the city of Uvalde says the high-ranking officer leading the police force on the day of the Robb Elementary shooting has just retired. Today, Lieutenant Mariano Pargas left the Uvalde Police Department. This comes days after a CNN report says Pargas knew 8 or 9 children were still alive inside the classrooms at Robb Elementary. KENS 5's Troy Kless joins us in studio with the criticism he continues to face. Troy.
Well, Audrey, a city spokesperson told us that just before 2 p.m. today, Lieutenant Mariano Pargas has retired effective immediately. But if you might remember last week, Pargas was still re-elected as a Uvalde County Commissioner, and the victims' families are frustrated that he still has that job after his failures on May 24th.
Waiting for more tech, or what's going on?
Police ask acting Uvalde Police Chief Mariano Pargas what to do during the response to the Robb shooting. Minutes later, an officer gets a radio call and Pargas is nearby.
The room is full of victims. Child victims.
This week, audio obtained by CNN states Pargas knew there were 8 or 9 children still alive. Following that call, 30 minutes passed before the shooter was killed, and 6 months later,
he cowered out one more time.
The family's still frustrated. Pargas hasn't shown his face as county commissioner since the shooting.
I'm thinking I'm just talking to a chair. An empty chair with an empty person in there. Even if he was there, he was probably empty.
On Wednesday, we spoke with Jesse Rizzo, Jackie Casadas's uncle, still furious that a student called for help and never got it.
For Chloe, that she saw that, that when she calls 911 for help, and then the message gets to him. So you're watching, you're hearing it, and you're watching it. And you sit there and you're like, how in the heck did this happen? So yeah, absolutely. It just rips your heart one more time.
Pargas' time as a police lieutenant is over, but Rizzo is upset that 584 people kept Pargas in this chair as a county leader.
I'm upset. I'm thinking about how he could actually put his name on the ballot and yet win an election and then not show up and face the consequences.
So Pargas was the acting police chief that day because the Uvalde police chief was out of town that day. But this latest report shows that a senior officer was aware of the 911 calls from children inside the classroom. So the city scheduled a meeting for this Saturday to fire Pargas from his position. The meeting is still on the city's website, but it's pretty likely that it's not going to be happening. Our calls to Pargas asking for comment were not returned. Troy Kless, KENS 5.